Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to the Crafty Grinding channel. It's time for some round one results for the Red Skull and Ebony Maw arenas and Marvel Contest of Champions. Then we'll take a look at some past results between round one and round two to get an idea of what might happen this time for round two for, again, the Red Skull and Ebony Maw arenas. So first the results, and these results are for the Veterans Bracket, and Veterans Bracket means your account's been open for over 2 months, 60 days. There's earlier bracket results. Unfortunately, there's no place that consistently captures self-reported results for the earlier brackets, the beginner and intermediate brackets. So again, these results are for the Veterans Bracket. So it looks like Red Skull came in a pretty standard number for a type of champ like himself as a feature champ that's been in the game for some time. Decent utility, nothing great, nothing outstanding, but it's decent. But he's been as a feature champ before, meaning people have had a chance to get him in the different basic crystals. So as you can see here, the results for his arena kind of reflect that, coming in at 26.5 million for the 5-star and 6 million for the 4-star. And in all honesty, though, that 6 million is a bit higher. I do think that 6 million isn't truly reflective of the actuals that we saw. I think that was like a number that was close to like in the mid 600s, maybe 700. So there's probably a handful of 4-star feature results somewhere below 6 million, but you know, that's probably a good average number to kind of consider. So, but again, that's why I think that number is a tad bit higher than what we've typically seen for a champ of his status in the game. And then with Ebony Maw, that he came in at 2.16, again, pretty much what was expected for the 4-star basic champ of Ebony Maw's kind of caliber, if you will. So comparing these expected results to my predictions, you should pretty much guess already kind of how the my predictions did against expected results, right? If they're expected, these should be pretty much close to my predictions, right? So the 25 million was real close to that, the 5.6 again, and the 2.1 was almost spot on. A lot of these, as you know, as I always say in my prediction videos, I try to get within 5 to 10%, and all of these fall within that. So a pretty good set of predictors for round one. Hopefully we can do the same thing for round two. Speaking of round two, let's take a look at some of those round one and round two past results to get an idea what might happen this time. Starting first with the 5-star feature Red Skull arena. You can see in most cases there's an increase between round one and round two. Hela had a pretty significant increase. Captain America did as well. Spider-Man Classic, he actually had a dip, and Star-Lord had an increase. And looking at other champs that are similar, this King Greep being the most recent, he actually had kind of a similar number. It was almost identical. Actually, I think it was a tad bit lower, but it was under 100,000 lower, so it wasn't nothing too significant difference there. So for the most part, for a champ similar to Red Skull's kind of status in the game, I think we saw kind of level out the last time around. With the 4-star feature, for the most part, you see a slight increase in most cases, but when it comes to the numbers that are already in 6 million, kind of like you see here with Captain America Infinity War, there was actually a decrease between round one and round two from 6 million to 5.9 million. Everybody else increased, and since we're already kind of at that higher end, if anything, we can take from that Captain America recent result that we can expect a slight decrease, nothing significant, but kind of closer to that average in the mid 5.5 range. Now with Ebony Maw, in most cases, you can see when it's high 2 million, so it's when there's high interest champs, kind of like Captain Marvel, Nick Fury, the first round is higher than the second round. But in the instance of Annihilus, where it was 1.7 in round one, round two went up actually to 1.8. And we saw that again here recently with Ronan, who had a round one of 1.8. who jumped all the way into the 2 millions in round two. So I think what these trends are showing us, if you're on the higher end of 2 million, the first round, you can expect a slight decrease in the second round. But in the first round, if you have lower than 2 million or right around 2 million, then you can expect a slight bump in round two. And again, with Ebony Maw, he was at 2.1 and some change. So you can expect likely a slight increase, but nothing too significant. And lastly, coming in with a 3-star feature, typically round one and round two are very similar, even though you see big peaks and valleys here. Really, if you look at the absolute numbers though, and disregard the actual kind of the graphical illustration of these numbers, you can see that it's more like 655 to 677, 654 to 658. I mean, these numbers are almost identical, especially from an arena grinding, even in the 3-star feature. So it's really a very similar number between round one and round two for the 3-star feature arenas. And again, similar to the reported results for round one, these numbers are all for the Veterans Bracket, not the earlier bracket. So Considering all of this information, here are my thoughts for round 2 predictions for the Veterans Bracket. Again, Veterans Bracket means your account's been open for over 60 days. I think we're looking at $27 million for the 5-star feature Red Skull, $5.8 million for the 4-star feature Red Skull, $2.2 million for the 4-star basic arena for Ebony Maw, and then lastly $670,675, something in that neighborhood. I guess we'll go with the predictions as it's written here at $670,000 for the 3-star feature Red Skull. Now, as I said a few minutes ago, I always try to get within 5 to 10%. This is not an exact science game. There's definitely not a big sample size to go off of this. This is simple trend analysis that I try to come up with these numbers. So, with that, I always try to give folks a grind target. If you really don't want to miss out on any of these champs, these are the numbers that I suggest you go to versus these predictions. This is where I think it's going to land. Here are these numbers that will give you more protection, put you in a safer zone. Nothing's guaranteed. You know, past results don't guarantee future results, but this will at least give you a little bit more cushion and give you a better chance to get that champ. Starting first with that 5-star feature Red Skull, I think we're looking at $30 million. For the 4-star feature Red Skull, $6.1 million. For the 4-star Ebony Maw, $2.4 million. And lastly, for the 3-star feature Red Skull, around $700,000. The grind targets and predictions are for the Veterans Bracket. When it comes to the earlier brackets, beginner bracket, day 1 all the way to day 30, 3-star feature, you're looking around $225, 4-star basic, $900,000, 4-star feature, $1 million. And always, as I say with the beginner and intermediate bracket, there's even less past results to base these estimates off. So these are really guesstimates. These are kind of throwing a dart on a dartboard kind of thing. I do get some information from the community from time to time, people posting their results when they're in these earlier brackets in the comment section of my channel, which is great. That does help, but there's a lot of volatility in these earlier brackets as people move from one arena to the next, from one bracket to the next kind of thing. They'll go, you know, with one week they're in the beginners because they're over 30 days, and they jump to intermediate and so forth and so on until everybody gets to veterans in 60 days. So with all that being said, just want to kind of remind folks, these are definitely just rough guesstimates, and at the end of the day, all of these numbers are underneath that last milestone reward. So if you really don't want to miss out on a champ, just push past the milestone rewards and you should get that champ. So anyway, with the intermediate bracket, meaning your account's been open 31 to 60 days, 3-star feature, $525,000, 4-star basic, $1 million, and 4-star feature Red Skull at $1.1 million. So these are my thoughts for round 2 of Red Skull and Ebony Maw arenas. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you have any questions as well, throw them on down. Throw everything down in the comment section. We can discuss it there. Also, check out my Twitter account, especially on the question side. If you really want to get my response in the next day or two while these arenas are live, try me on Twitter. I check that out more often than my comment section. For whatever reason, it's just easier to get in Twitter, and it's the same thing as the channel name, Crafty Grinding Channel on Twitter. So check that out, and I'll try to get my questions. I get a better shot at getting to your questions there, kind of thing. Other than that, hopefully you found this information very helpful. If so, I'd really appreciate if you click that thumbs up button, as it helps the channel and the video. And if you like this and other videos on my channel and you haven't yet subscribed, I really appreciate it if you did. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.